From me then to Eddie Hearn. I still don't. Is this
still
a step
top
up
guy.
or a step
We're
down?
quite similar.
We're quite similar.
Jeans, yeah.
Ask him to do the Drake dance. He'll do it right here.
Kiki.
How we doing, chaps? How we doing?
What's up, man? All right, so Eddie, here it is, first exclusive DAZN card in the U.S. You know, the weigh-ins was exciting. I mean, Johnson brought half of the arenas come from Johnson.
You see how the Brits do, right?
Yeah, they always come out. And they all have money. They can all travel. That's what it is. Money's good.
But, you know, ultimately, this is a huge card. 3 World Championship fights. Yeah. And then that's just the undercard.
Right.
You know, you've got Big Baby Miller in a big fight against Adamek, Jesse Vargas at Dulorme. Trust me, those styles for that 147 clash are going to be a great, great fight. I've got to say, I can't wait for Beterbiev against Johnson.
Oh, man,
because that dude is scary.
Right. Yeah, that's
I mean, Beterbiev may actually not be human.
Right.
I'm not sure. We may have to test him.
He is a machine. He looks like a machine. He fights like a machine.
He's carved out of stone.
Yes. No, I've been singing that tune all week. I said, listen, first of all, the 3 championship fights were overlooked. People didn't realize 3 world title fights. These are not BS fights. And not to mention, you know, that particular fight. This gentleman that you mentioned, I mean, I think he's eventually going to be a star in the sport again. I mean, this is his shot. I mean, Johnson has a tough task ahead of him. It's safe to say.
Johnson's one of our fighters from the UK. He's undefeated. Right. He was a stellar amateur, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He can really punch as well.
Right.
But it's like, what do you do against a guy? It's a bit like Golovkin in the early stages of his career. Right. And still now, when he cuts you off in the ring, you have no choice but to stand and fight. Yeah. I remember in the Kell Brook fight against Gennady Golovkin, you box off the back foot for only so long. Right. And then he cuts the ring off so well, and you have to stand and trade. Right, and when you're standing and trading with a puncher like Beterbiev, you know, it's over. Right. So what do? You can't outbox him, you can't outstrength him. And the one thing I'll say about Callum Johnson is he can really hit, really hit. And we see Beterbiev down once in the pros. It was a flash knockdown, but he still hit the canvas. So in a way, Johnson's best chance is to stand and trade with Beterbiev, which is so dangerous.
Is scary.
I know, but what can you do?
You know, and Eddie, you know, we all know that Adamek is past his prime, but this is a big test for Big Baby, because if he wins big, wins impressive, knockout win, he's in a mix, he's in a talk.
I think the bigger pressure for Big Baby Miller is to always look good. He's expected to beat Adamek tomorrow night. There'll be loads of Polish in the house. There'll be a great atmosphere, and I do think that early on in the fight, Adamek will have success. He's light, he does have speed, and Big Baby Miller has just weighed in at 318 pounds. I had to get my calculator out and check how many stones that was. That's nearly 24 stone. That's the biggest heavyweight in the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
And this is a guy who's top 3 heavyweight in some organisations, top 10 in everybody's book. So he's going to be hard to beat when he's leaning on you and he's walking you down. Right. And you're only 220 pounds or whatever Adamek was. It's going to get tough in the fight. The one thing I will say is, this fight was contracted for 10 or 12 rounds. Right. Because of how many fights we've got on this card, I requested 10 rounds. Big Baby Miller, being Big Baby Miller, was happy with 10 rounds.
Of course.
Because it was 2 rounds less.
Of course.
Adamek said, no way. Right. This has to be 12 rounds.
I have a better chance bringing him
that
to
tells
deep
you
waters.
this guy is not here to survive.
Yeah, he's here to win.
And he knows if he beats Big Baby Miller, all of a sudden he's calling out the shots with a big fight. So I expect Miller to come through, and I expect him to knock Adamek out tomorrow night.
So what kind of performance is going to get him April 13th date or whatever?
I think a brutal performance, a ruthless performance, and a ruthless and brutal knockout. People love show-real knockouts. You know, people want to see, and I think what he'll do is, like I said, he may get outboxed in the first round, 2 rounds, but then he's going to throw Adamek around like a rag doll in there. He's going to back him up. He's going to whip those big shots to the body. Yes. He's going to use his size, and he's a nightmare, Big Baby Miller. He's going to be tough to beat because he's such a size. If he has a good chin, which I get the feeling he does, he's going to be very, very difficult to beat.
I have to say, I mean, you've been a fight fan for a long time. We all know about the news at HBO after 45 years. How many bottles did you pop that night when you got the news?
Listen, I haven't been hit with a bitterness bug of the business yet. I'll get there one day. When I'm 60 or 70, I'll be the most miserable man you ever met. But it's never great to see a brand so synonymous with the sport of boxing like HBO leave.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we live in a marketplace that is so competitive and so fierce. And if you haven't got the desire or the pockets, you might as well leave because you can't be #1. And I think HBO took the position, we don't want to be an also-ran in the boxing market. We're either HBO or we're out. And they're out. And they'll be back because we're going to make this sport so big that everyone's going going to be back.
Everybody want to come back.
Exactly.
So listen, we heard you got a new signing.
Yeah.
Yes. You want to introduce him now? You want to bring the young man in?
This handsome young man, Diego Pacheco.
Tall young man.
How you doing, sir?
Fighting at 160 pounds. He's going to be a middleweight. I mean, how's it feel, man, to sign to such a big promoter? You're on this network that's actually taking off.
Introduce yourself.
Right, talk to the people.
My name is Diego Pacheco. You know, I'm from LA. I'm 17 years old, and I just signed with Matchroom Boxing.
Listen, I'm the one with the mouth, right? I'll tell you. Stop being so polite. 8-time national champion.
And how
Junior
old is
Olympics.
he?
He's 17 years
17 years old.
He's 6'4".
He had to get a permission slip to be here.
Yes, his mother is right over there.
But this is exactly what we want to do. Of course, we want the big names, the world championship fights, but we want to bring through the best young talent in the sport of boxing. This guy, I've seen his Instagram. He was round some big promoters' houses trying to court him, and we won the race.
What was it about Eddie Hearn that made you say, you know, I feel at home, this is where I want to go?
Well, you know, it was my whole team, you know, my family, everyone. We came together and we had a lot of options, you know, a lot of big promoters, but I don't know, I just felt Eddie Hearn, you know, it was the move, yeah.
We agree. We feel like it's the right decision. You know what, and I'm okay with the age, man. Let's not forget about the guys like Wilfredo Benitez at 17 years old winning a world title. I mean, it's okay to be a young fighter. This is a young man's sport.
And it's a bit like leaving college. Do you go to university or do you go and get a job?
Right.
And after 3 years of getting a job, you'll be much better placed than you would be leaving university.
True.
And that's the plan with Diego Pacheco, is let him learn, let him develop. He's got a great training team. Tim Van Nieuwhouse of Split Team Management looking after him, making sure we take the right fights at the right time. Box him all over America, box him in the UK as well. Check out his Instagram, his social accounts. This boy can punch. He's long, he's rangy, he has great shot selection.
Size,
I know.
So the potential of him moving up in weight classes is enormous.
Can you imagine if this young man is what we believe he is, coming through 17, 18, 19, with their Mexican support, you know, with those cheeky good looks as well that he doesn't like to talk about. It's going to be exciting, and we hope to add, 3 amateurs as well, debuting on this card on Saturday night. Reshat Mati, Nikosi Solomon, Nikita Ababa. You know these guys.
Right.
These are good young characters, personalities, and talent. Not everyone will make it in the sport of boxing, but we will ensure and guarantee they're given every opportunity. It's just about talent and hard work.
Right.
And if they work hard and they have the talent, like Diego Pacheco, I believe he'll go on and be a multi-weight world champion, because he's going to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, but the hard part is staying true to the blueprint, because you had another guy who was young, who moved very quickly. His name was Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
And he accomplished things so quickly like this young man, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, we thought a couple of more years you'd fight for a title, but we have an opportunity with Charles Martin, so we got to push you in there and maybe a little bit too fast.
When should we expect him to be in the ring?
Well, he's definitely going to box this year. He's 17, so in many states he can't box till he's 18, which is March.
Right.
But we must get him out once this year, and then he's going to box all over America next year, in the UK as well. And you're right, although we're going to take him nice and slow, I also get the feeling with this young man, we might be forced to move a little bit quicker than expected. But certainly for the first year or two, relax,
Do you feel you're ready? Do you feel you're ready already?
I'm ready, definitely.
He's ready to
That's what I
fight.
wanted to hear.
Look out for the boys. Very talented, decorated amateur. Is going to be fighting professional real soon. And don't forget, tomorrow night, tune in at Dazn, Worlds Collide. Jesse Vargas versus Thomas Dulorme, and a ton of other fights. Worlds are literally colliding tomorrow night, so you don't want to miss it. Hakim Barak, Dazn.